Hello, good evening. Welcome to another Monday evening. Welcome to Susan Koruthu Live Show. Today we are going to talk about teen depression. I know many parents are worried about teen depression. It's increasing in an alarming rate. And many a times we think that what is happening to our young generations, this lovely little children who have been given to us as a very innocent kids, and when they grow up, reach to teens, they're not able to cope up with their life, and many are falling into depression. And we hear a lot of stories or a lot of real life situation. I won't say it as stories, it's a real life situations that children are ending their life, or they just get into various other antisocial areas and things like that. Now, what is happening here? Because definitely there is a problem with the mental health area. The mind fitness and the mind well-being is really getting disturbed nowadays. Now, what happens in teen depressions? Parents, it's very difficult to identify, but they ignore these symptoms most probably. And when it has become really dangerous, really it is clearly visible, it will be really too late for the parents to seek help. And I can't blame parents, because they may not be knowing about it, and they just casually take it. And one thing I want to tell you here is, when a child shows the symptom that is noticeable, and we understand that the child is going through depression, that's become, after a long period of time, they have given you symptoms, small symptoms, that I'm not okay and there is a problem, but we ignore, and they get into this level. And this time also, most of the parents will give them, think positively, don't worry about it. If the friends is the problem, why do you think that the friends has to be like this? And don't have so much of pressure about things, everything will be all right. And they try to be the advice givers, and this become more and more problem for the kids who are undergoing depression. And what are the symptoms normally? And when you look at these kids, they lose interest in various things that they were doing previously. We think that, okay, it's normal that they're losing interest, but if it is there a pattern, you need to be very focused on that, like take interest in a kid's life, so you will understand that whether they are losing interest in various activities, and they will have an excessive sleep or no sleep at all. They will spend sleepless nights, and they are tired, they are lethargic, they don't have appetite, they lost interest in food, or they have increased interest for food, so much of weight gain or weight loss, and like a feeling of helplessness and a hopelessness. And sometimes they feel self-harm, or end their life kind of feelings, and there is no worth, no value, self-deception, self-defeating beliefs, and like problems in relationships, problems in interpersonal communications and interactions, anger, frustration, a moody attitude, a low profile they show. And also, when you get into the behavior, sometimes the behavior can be aggressive, anger outburst, and sometimes they make marks on the body with sharp objects, and sometimes they try to do some self-harm. And when others are coming, and they may not come forward to talk to people when they meet them, or they stay aloof, they stay more in the room, they don't want to come out of it, they spend a lot of time on the screen, and they just set everything to be in a kind of a very low profile. And they may not be liking to come out to the daylight sometimes, and they just wanted to be in the closed door, windows are closed, doors are closed, and most of the time they just wanted to be kind of lying down or something. and then their marks will be very low, their performance get affected, they may not be able to go to school, they lost interest in working on themselves and achievements, and they lose interest in friends and other activities, and certain pleasurable activities they'll be good at, but other areas they will not, and they break things, and they throw tantrums, and sometimes, and then they may burn things, and like destroy things. They show anger outbursts, and they react, and they'll be angry, their face will change into a very 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 different, very angry mood, and very different way their face changes, the eyes changes and everything. So all these things, when you see, and you see something behavior is not right for the child, you can just try and see someone who can help you, a therapist or a counselor, whether the child is having some kind of a teen depression there. And what you can do is, the best people are parents, because they are seeing the children every day, so you can understand, you can identify whether there is a problem. You are the first people, you are the best person to be intervene first in this case. And you know the symptoms, you know the behavioral areas. Now if you ask me causes, and we cannot say there is any specific cause because of this it has happened. It really need to be investigated by the therapist or someone who's really capable in that area, because it can be hereditary, it can be a peer problem, it can be a love failure, it can be a regretful past the person is all the time thinking about, and also it can be because of some illness, it can be because of overuse of the internet and other social media, and maybe kind of a bullying, and maybe some important person must have put them down, maybe out of a trauma. But it's a trauma can happen immediately, the depression can cause immediately, but if the person is slowly developing it and gradually developing it, it is difficult to notice throughout, but it's always getting to the notice by the parents when it's become really beyond their control. And there can be an over demanding parent, a parent who's putting unrealistic goals, a parent who is not very, we say, oh, that's not fair. Because I'll tell you one small example. If the child is a very good scorer and she or he scores really good marks for maths, physics, chemistry, or and then there is a social studies which is having a problem, they say that your grade is not going to be high, you're going to have problem. That's why I say it's not fair on your part, because just look at what the child has done. Sometimes when you appreciate, when we do that, that the parents want the child to be better, but when you use the words, when you are ignoring where the child is gaining, so, or coming up as, or achieving things, and you may neglect that because you highlight what they are not doing well. So this also can create problem in a long run, and their image, the way they appear, maybe their color, anything that can be a problem for creating a depression, that needs to be identified and understood, and then only the therapy or the treatment is going to be effective for them. But if it is in the beginning, and it is if you have identified it well in advance, in a therapy will help, and in other areas sometimes medicine is required. But what is the help that we can do is always the prevention is better than cure. And once it is happened, and it is a bit difficult for us to bring the person back to the life, and it takes so much of time, it takes so much of effort, it takes so much of your money and everything. And actually what happens is the person who is falling into depression is really falling into a pit, and bringing that person, slowly making the person come out of the pit and start to live is a really big task. It's not that easy as it sounds. But here what you can do is, mostly the best thing is the preventive things. What can you do for prevention? Let me tell you that it's very, very important to have connections really good, human connections, and everyone should feel that they are connected very much, and provide a healthy family atmosphere, all the time hatred, all the time fights, all the time accusing, all the time blaming. This kind of a family atmosphere children cannot take. And like provide them with mental toughness, mental hardiness, skills and life skills to manage life situation, face them really well, emotional intelligence skills and everything. These are the things that the children requires nowadays, because there is no one to give it to them. And any parent who is below 45 is not capable of giving so much. I'm not talking about everyone. Generally the study shows that most of the parents are not able to do this, because there is no matured people in the family. So these kind of things are not there. Also, please do not allow your children to be on the screen for a long time, whether it may be a YouTube, which is really a good thing that they're seeing, the reading like online. All these kind of things will not be helpful if the child is doing it for a long time. And next one is, whenever you see the child is upset or worried, just give him a cool time and then start to help him to come out of it and share it. And mainly you need to give an opportunity for the child to share things with you. Please do not have your attitude of an advice giver when the child is sharing things. So maybe the child just wanted you to hear it and just help him to come out of it, rather than the parents are mostly listening it with, okay, I must be a solution provider, I need to give a solution here. This is not going to help. Another thing is, never allow children to be alone at home. Never keep your child alone at home. Whatever it may be, you may want to go to a job or anywhere, please make sure that the child is being kept under supervision by someone. If you keep the children alone at home, it's a curious mind, what they do, how they do, maybe a regretful thing they can do, and then later on they just fall into depression because of thinking about the past regret or like the activity that they have done. Also, there are chances that they go like they spend time on nets and social medias and like games and online games. All these things can eventually slowly put you into depression. And now one thing you need to be very, very careful about is, like, please don't give children too much privacy. There is no child requires privacy other than what you require. We are adults. We know what privacy we need to require. We need. And I don't understand when people say, and the parents say, and the adults say that teenagers require privacy. For what? For do all the private. What will they do in the private time, on the private area where it is completely covered? And don't give that chance. There is no need for a child to have so much of privacy. Please remove that from your mind, that a child reaches teenage and you need to give them privacy, and all these things create a load of problem. So please take care of your children and make sure that the child is having the right. Tell them they have all the right to be with the parent. The parent's supposed to give them support, and never allow the child to be out of the house more after 8 p.m. Just set boundaries, set discipline, set a routine for the child, and let him follow things, and let him respect life and understand life, and life as a valuable thing. And most importantly, how prayer. Make sure that the child understand it is not, everything is not in his hand, everything is not in the parents' hand. There will be situation, there will be people, there will be everything that may be against him, but there will be a hope. And to work towards that with focus and aim, you need to have prayer, because every time things are not in our hand, it's beyond sometimes in our control. So things are not in our control, then we need to manage things and give them confidence. They will give them motivation, give them the life skills, mind fitness skills, and every possible learning and experience and mentoring you give it to them. Give them a confidence that you are always with them, support them, and like encourage them, and never allow them to be alone at any point of time. Having a human touch is very, very important in the children's life especially, and we all know that we need somebody to be connected with, and be that parent, and definitely your children will be leading a very healthy life. Thank you very much, and the next Monday I will come with another important topic, and I will be sharing it with you. Until then, you take care of yourself and your family and lead a happy life. And I'm Susan Koruthu, your personal transformation expert. Bye from me now.